Let's call this meeting to order. And rise for the pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I'll now call the roll. And right on top is Kimberly, and I wanted to let you know that Kimberly thought she was going to be able to come, even though she would need to use a wheelchair, but then she sent me another text to say she's back in the hospital. So I don't know any other information. I don't even know what hospital, so I need to hear back from her again. And things are getting better somehow for her. So she has an excused absence. Glenn.
Here.
Jessica. Mark.
Here.
Crystal. Here. Gail.
Here.
Beth.
Here.
I'm here. Marcia. Here. Jane. Here. Deb.
Here.
And Kim. Karen.
Here.
Here. All right. Good. We're now at the point where we have a provision for public comment. Is there anyone here who wishes to speak? No public? Anybody online? Hearing nobody, no one saying anything, there'll be another opportunity later. Does anyone wish to make any changes or additions to the agenda? If not, may I have a motion to approve the agenda as presented? By Glenn, support? Support by Beth? Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Does anyone wish to remove any of the items from the consent agenda in order to discuss them individually? Not? May I have a motion to approve all the items on the consent agenda?
Move to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Support. Support? Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Jane, will you please give us your report from today's program committee meeting?
Sure. Heidi Denton provided an overview of the housing program. The housing program is kind of like a central intake process, or per se a hub of Allegan County. Individuals can contact OnPoint's housing program, and if they meet the criteria, staff will work with them. If they don't meet the criteria, they're able to provide resources within the community so that they can tap into those resources. There's many sources of funding, such as grants that do fund the housing program. OnPoint has a master lease family shelter, which they lease 4 apartments that are available for those individuals in an emergency type shelter situation. They do have to meet the criteria as well. And she said that they served 212 individuals in 2024. We also did have a presentation by Matt for the quality improvement plan. He provided an overview of the FY25, which is in our packets from page 16 to 33. He did want to share with us that all 3 quarters that OnPoint scored 100% for all 3 of those quarters. And right now, quarter 4, we're on track for 100% as well. Pages 34 through 47 in the packet is the goals for FY 26. Page 48 is when the strategic goals start, as opposed to 34 through 47, which are the standardized goals per se that carry from year to year. Gina provided an update for us, which is listed in page 57. And then Kathy also provided an update for us on customer service, starting on page 58. She did indicate that overall the number of grievances are going up, but she said primarily because the individuals are more aware of their rights and are freer to discuss their concerns. And that is my update.
Did you want to make a motion to approve the quality assurance and performance?
The program committee would like to make a motion to approve the FY 2026 Quality Assurance and Performance Improvement Plan.
Have support?
I support.
Any discussion? I think this is money, so I'll just do it, a voice. Support, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Opposed? And carried. Beth, will you please give us a report from today's finance committee?
Okay, starting on page 6. First paragraph, finance, we'll skip that till we get to the other financials. Human resources, the biggest news there is that we're down to single digits in the active postings. We've been hiring and so forth, but that was a nice little comment by Alice in the committee meeting. The other thing going on is that they continue to review their policies. The two that they've been looking at recently is the smoking, vaping, and tobacco use, and the separation and termination policy. They have a new app called Kudos, and it's where any employee can give a shout out, a kudo to another employee. So over to IT, as we have AI entering every facet of our lives, it's also entering at OnPoint. So they're working on an AI policy, and that will kind of be part of when we get to the Helios, which is the electronic medical record dictation. That has an AI component in it. So they're working on that. And let's see what else. Facilities, the absolute final live feed of our fiber has been completed, and we're all done with it. And as for the mat area of the building, JKB construction has been, their bid has been accepted, but because of the government shutdown, we still need HRSA to approve JKB as the contractor. So we have the money for the remodeling, the build here. We can't use it though until we get the approval of the contractor. So that's that. I'm going to skip over to page 13. This is for the full year, October 1 of last year to September 30 this year. It looks very good, as Andre said in the meeting. The far right column, the Medicaid subtotal, the 1.150, that goes back to the LRE, because we just didn't use it. And then the CCBHC subtotal, the 427, that stays with us. That's kind of the free money, or the no strings attached money. And that's, and then in the general fund, the 26,000, we normally give back our general fund to the state, but because this is below a certain threshold, we get to keep it and carry it forward. So One thing I'd like to say about the 1.15, that, you know, over $1 million going back. Part of the issue with that is that the rate, there wasn't a rate amendment until July. And we played it conservative to say, hey, we don't want to give, you know, providers more money for the state to come back and say, no, the rate isn't going to be that. So we didn't want to have to be accountable or for the extra rate if we gave the money out. You guys understand that? I didn't say that very well. So the idea was we're just gonna hold for the year and be conservative, and going forward, they are looking at in January, looking at a rate increase, because we know those providers do a lot of hard work. Okay, moving on to page 14. Yeah. And this is our balance sheet here. If you look at the cash and cash equivalents, a year ago, we had 5.2 million, and Andre said, yeah, we got 3.8 million and we're doing great this year. And I'm like doing the math, I'm like, that's a smaller number. But if the number right below it, the 1.8 in investments, if you add the 3.8 and the 1.8, we're about $500,000 over last year's in cash equivalents at same time. So that is very, very good. All the way down to the bottom, second to the last number, the unrestricted. It's about a 1.2 growth in comparison to last year, and that's restricted funds for us. Most of that was from the CCBHC. Any questions so far? All right, page 15. Of course, it's a full year, so the percentages should be at 100%. And the second one is at 120%. That's because we didn't have as many disenroll off from Healthy Michigan, and we had more enroll. So there was less going out and more coming in. So we're over on that. The big shout out of the day, once again, CCBHC capitation is at 104% for revenue. I don't know if you remember, but back in early spring and summer, I was like, we got to get up to 400 or 300 appointments per day or per week, and, or no, it was per month. Per month. 2 months. Like, we're doing not right. I don't do this once a month, but anyways, yeah, we didn't know if we were going to catch up, and we were like, uh-oh, we're going to be hurt. And that whole department, the CCBHC, yeah, okay, did a great job and got caught back up. So they're very proud of everybody's effort on that. Going down to the expenses, the very last one is at 68%, and you're like, depreciation, that's usually a standard set number. The USDA final reconciliation, because the government was shut down and so forth, that hasn't been put in there yet, but that will look closer to 100%. The 107 for the provider network services, we're a little bit high on that. That's due to high cost, high dollar placements that we needed for some of our clients. So other than that, the change in net position, 927,000 and some change. We're above and did better, so for the year. So I'm very happy. Now we have to pay the bills. So if you can jump back to page 8. I make a motion that the OnPoint board approve the October 2025 disbursements totaling $3,981,296.00.
Support?
Support.
Support. Any discussion?
Yes.
Yes.
Crystal?
Yes.
Gail?
Yes.
Beth?
Yes.
I say yes. Marcia?
Yes.
Jane?
Yes.
Deb?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes. Okay, on page 9, we have to add a few providers to our list of contracts, basically. So I recommend that the OnPoint board approve the following list of provider contracts for fiscal year 2026.
Any support for that motion? Support by Jane. Any discussion? Karen?
Yes.
Deb?
Yes.
Jane?
Yes.
Marcia?
Yes.
I say yes. Beth?
Yes.
Gail?
Yes.
Crystal? Yeah. Mark?
Yeah.
Glenn?
Yeah.
Yes. Anything else?
No, thank
You
you.
good? Okay. Glenn, I know you didn't meet today, but anything to report?
Nothing to report. No
Okay.
bad.
Okay. Stephanie, you're just laughing. What a night to choose to come and drive to Halligan.
I know it.
But thank you. I'm so glad to see you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. So in the event you don't know who I am, I'm Stephanie Vanderpoint, I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Lakeshore Regional Entity. I have just a couple quick updates for you tonight. Wanted to let you know that our board meeting is actually tomorrow. It is up a little bit just because of the holiday. We're not going to be doing a work session. So instead, we'll just have the board meeting at 1 o'clock. Three main things are going to be covered at the meeting tomorrow. We're going to go through our utilization management plan. We need the board to approve that, as well as our compliance plan. And then also our QAPF as well too needs to be approved as well tomorrow. So we'll be covering that. The other item that I wanted to let you know too is that in the event you want to watch our board meeting via Zoom, please let me know. I'll get you the link. We don't just post that on our website. Trouble with like AI chatbots trying to get in, so we've stopped putting that on our website. So let me know, and I can get you the link if you'd like to join. The other thing is on December 10th, which is a Wednesday, we're going to be having our Oversight Policy Board Committee. That'll be at 4 p.m. and that will be at the Ottawa CMH Boardroom. We'll be covering several PA2 motions there for additional funding from reserves, as well as going through some changes for fiscal year 26. We have some amendments already that we need to have approved by the board at that meeting. So just wanted to let you know about that as well. And actually, the only other thing I was just going to mention is we are still doing business as usual at our shop until we're told differently with the RFP. And I really don't have any further updates than that because there's really been nothing. We expect next month there to be some updates, but as of now, I don't have anything. So I'm just trying to keep morale up, staff to stay, things of that nature. So that's where we're at right now. So that concludes my report.
Any questions for Stephanie? Lots of chocolate, I would recommend.
All right, perfect, thank you.
Can't give them a raise, but you can give them chocolate. Okay, I have a couple of items I wanted to share from Friday's executive committee report. First of all, I just wanted to, I asked Mark and he looked at it and was able to confirm that indeed the SNAP funds benefits have been restored in full. And one of the reasons I was so concerned is when we were up at the conference in Traverse City, that's when I learned that all group homes use SNAP funds for their food, and you can't use Medicaid money for food. So it was, all of a sudden, that was just a huge amount of like, holy cow, what would we do? You know, very relieved to know that that has been back, although it's only until January 31st. So we may still have issues to come up right in the middle of winter. That would be great. So, but for today, just like I've been saying, you know, the news, the best we can hope for is no news or not awful. So we're still doing that. I did, notice that, there is a copy of, Mark has given us his, assessment of how he's coming on his, goals and projects, and that is there for your review. And we did also, look at the calendar for next year and the committee assignments, and, I think I'm gonna ask for an approval of that, right? Yes,
You need a copy.
I thought I had one, actually, somebody. All these neat piles, I can't find it. How does that work?
Yep, we got it right there. Ready to go? Serious news. Glorious, thank you.
Gotcha. Got it.
As far as I could see it, couldn't see any, you know, every once in a while, like this third Tuesday falls on a funny day in certain months, but it looks to me like, all that looks good. And I haven't heard that anybody, is no longer able to serve on any of the current committees, so I'm assuming that that's all. Oops. Is there news?
I will not be renewing my, what is it, March 31st. I will be moving out of the county. Well, I'll be selling my house in Allegan County, so I will no longer be able to serve as, program committee chair.
Draw straws and do that. All right. Well, we'll work on that then. Would you say the end of March? So for the April?
Well, my term only goes through March,
Right.
so I wouldn't be reapplying.
Right. So I'm saying in April, we've got to be sure we've got somebody.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Anyone else? Okay with the committee assignments? All right, then I would ask, that we approve this. Do I have support? Support. Any other discussion? If not, all in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried. Any questions for me as far as, executive committee? And do I always forget this? Do we need to approve the, minutes?
Nope.
No, we're good? Okay.
That's part of the,
It's part of the
Right.
consent, isn't it?
consent agenda.
All right. If no other questions, then Mark, would you like to
Sure.
share us any items for your written report that you want to emphasize?
Yes, so, a lot happened after I submitted the report in terms of changes in the federal, budget and so forth. Is the passage of, a continuation resolution. So as you said, SNAP, funds will restore full funding for all federal programs through January 30, I think it was. So good there, although that day will be here before you know it.
Yeah.
The one thing that does affect us in one of our programs has to do with, and I don't know if this was discussed during the program committee, but related to the continuum of care, our rapid rehousing, all of that services that go on through the housing department. There was a termination of funds as of a certain date. I don't remember the date, but a plan to issue an RFP that we would need to respond to with our partners across the state who are in certain communities that don't have our own continuum of care. We share it across the state. It's called the balance of state. So we're in that balance. And us and other partners across the community, across the state will need to participate in the submitting of a HUD grant. And to allow for services that we offer today for homelessness to continue. The difficult thing around that, and should I just ask if that was covered in the housing? Okay, do you want to recap that thing about the terms, or do you want me to just say?
We want.
Oh, go ahead.
So typically these grants, sort of auto renew. And so this year it's a competitive bid process and it'll be awarded based on merit. So there's multiple categories that, will be scored on. And as Mark mentioned, we're part of an entity, so it's not just solely reliant on what we do here. Normally those, grants renew in May. But because there's an RFP issue, our entity needs to apply by January 14th. But because we are one part of that entity, we were instructed that we will need to have our materials in by December 12th. The problem is that we don't really fully know exactly what that process will look like. We have a meeting tomorrow with the entire entity, the balance of state, to learn a little bit more. But we did share in the program meeting that we had a meeting yesterday with the entire state, and it just sort of posed more questions than we received answers. So there is thought that there will be litigation to this measure. And so that may stall the timeline. But again, these are things that typically just sort of turnkey renewed, and that will not be the case. So, and that is for our supported housing program and our rapid rehousing program, which are our two programs that provide the most financial support for actual housing for our folks. And we only serve folks right now who are category 1 homeless, meaning that they, don't have anywhere else to go. So it's a pretty heavy impact for the county.
So some of what the applications will involve is meeting certain criteria that are federally established and probably along the lines of what federal priorities are these days. So we'll quote those until we get to them, but they will likely be very different kinds of criteria than what we're used to. And ones that I would say in general probably won't advantage communities the way that we're currently delivering services. It'll be very different if it proceeds. And I agree with Gina's point. I think there will be enough potential backlash around these new provisions that some attorney general somewhere is going to file a suit and the whole thing will probably be put on hold. That's kind of my guess, but we'll see. We'll see. I don't want to lose in that issue the overall positive report that the rest of the federal programs are continuing at full funding for at least through January. I did put a note about the state RFP and where that stands. I won't repeat all that other than just to underline the point that there is a hearing scheduled I put Grand Rapids, it's actually Lansing, I learned, on December 8th, at which Judge Yates will have another round of consideration of the lawsuit and the claims underneath it. He has indicated that he's not thinking that the current RFP will satisfy the requirements of the mental health code, how he handles that, how the state handles that, whether negotiations occur between now and then. That's all to be seen, but we are watching very closely, of course, because it relates very strongly to everything that we do under the current PHP structure. Leading into the next paragraph about the My Plan, the entity that you chose to join last couple months ago. As of today, there are 10 CMHs that are participants in the My Plan, and I think it currently represents 10 counties. There are 3 other CMHs that together represent 6 counties that are on the bubble and may join as well, but that effort continues to develop. I think our overall hope is that it becomes unnecessary, but if it ends up going forward, then that's our iron in the fire to hopefully preserve some semblance of a public system in the midst of the changes that are being proposed. The final couple of things I want to mention is that On that goals report, I certainly welcome feedback on that. You can deliver that to me directly if you like, or you can circulate that to Alice as chairperson so that we can take it up at the next executive committee meeting, or we can talk about it next month. I think it's a little bit unfair to expect you to, have reviewed that and master it today. So, but really welcome feedback. Second to the last item, December 5, you're welcome to join what will be an OnPoint presence in the Allegan County, or the Allegan City Fair Parade. That's a fair parade. Allegan City Holiday Parade. We'll have a banner behind which as many staff and community members and staff board members that want to walk with us can do so. You might line up at 6:30 and we walk at 7. I have no idea what the route is, but you're welcome to be there. Don't dress as Santa. That's the only rule. Apparently that's provided by someone. And finally, as we enter into a season where we remember with thanks the service of folks, I wanted to spend a minute just thanking you for your service on the board and for this good year that we've gone past, whether it's been a few months or another year. Thankful for the time that you've given to the people we serve through the staff and the organization and how it benefits the community at large. It's been my custom to provide you with a token gift at the same time with a card. I'm going to do that right now. Unless you, and maybe I'll do that immediately after you join the board so that we don't spend precious time on YouTube doing that.
Okay. Any questions for Mark? Okay. Another opportunity for public comment? Buddy? Remember comments.
Just to reiterate the fantastic turnaround of the finances in the last 6 months.
I really enjoyed my time at the conference with Alice and Deb and Jessica and that guy. Oh, and that guy over there. No, you. And, yeah, and we spent a little time with Mandy Paget.
Yeah.
And I got to see John Weirstrup briefly. So it was a good time and good breakout sessions and attended another one on the CIT and we're starting to not only include law enforcement in those trainings, but we're trying to branch out to the fire. I think that's a great idea with our volunteer fire departments and everything else to get those guys trained so that they can recognize when somebody's in a crisis and help them through that. So I guess that's it.
I don't, nothing except for have a good Thanksgiving.
Oh, yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, I just the season of thanks, express thanks to all the people that will serve, the people of Allegan County. I mean, we get the representatives are here every month, but the people that work in their departments or whatever that are trying to go unthought of sometimes. So thank all your people from the board.
Absolutely. Krista?
No comment.
Just what Mark said, I appreciate the opportunity to go to this conference. It really was helpful and it makes things come together a little bit more so that we can be informed and do our jobs as best we can. So I appreciate that opportunity.
I did want to, I forgot to mention one thing regarding the program committee update. When Matt provided us the information regarding the FY26 goals, he did stress that, he did indicate and point out that the very first goal has already been achieved. They hired a healthcare analytics manager, which is going to be starting in December already. So we're off to a good start. And then I will be in the Caribbean in December during the meeting, so I will not be here. So everyone have a very happy Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Happy New Year's.
No, the same as Glenn, thank everybody for everything that you do every day.
Absolutely. I don't have anything to offer, to add, so I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Support. All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carried.